John Sandweg, who was ICE director under President Obama right now, to join us right now. And John, what do you make, first of all, of the politics of all of this? You've watched immigration for a long time, all these Democrats going down to El Salvador.
Connell, I think you said it best last time we spoke about this, which is the administration likes this debate. Yeah. They like arguing that Abrego Garcia is an MS-13 member. There were a couple of things, to be fair, in his past that that are troubling, let's just say. But this is a debate they like. Now, what they're ignoring, of course, is that the question isn't the quality of Abrego Garcia's character. The question is the legality of the deportation, right, and the efforts that they're making to get him back. But I think politically, this is a debate they like having. They seem like Democrats are fighting for MS-13, when in reality, they're fighting just to uphold the rule of law.
Now, his lawyer was Chris Newman was speaking because we all saw him with Van Hollen, but now I guess there's some question about what's going on. Where is he? Here's what Newman had to say. Listen.
I came here with 3 distinct goals in mind. Number 1, to ensure that Mr. Abrego Garcia is in fact alive today. Number 2, to make sure that he is healthy and safe. And then number 3, to ensure that he has access to counsel and to his family as is required by international law. We know nothing of Mr. Abrego Garcia's whereabouts since the staged photo op on Thursday with Senator Van Hollen.
Okay, what's your best guess, John, into how all this ends up? It's a speculation last week that, maybe he would be brought back to the U.S. and then they try to deport him to another country that they were allowed to deport him to. What do you think is actually going to happen?
I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. It's really hard to say at this point. When the Supreme Court came down with a 9-0 ruling, what the Supreme Court was saying was, resolve this for us, please. Don't make this the big judicial confrontation that I think we're all waiting for, right? That moment where we see whether or not the Trump administration is going to just disregard a court order. There was some, as we talked about, there was some wiggle room in the Supreme Court's order, but it was a 9-0 order saying facilitate his return. You would hope that just they bring him back as a result of that. They seem very resistant. They're continuing to fight. I don't know where this ends. It either ends in the Supreme Court or we wake up one day and El Salvador send him back to a third country. That's more difficult than it sounds, but I worry that we're getting to that point where it's going to take an order of the Supreme Court to see him return. But one last thing, Connell, that's really difficult because now, of course, the administration isn't wrong when they say, that foreign policy is the purview of the executive branch. But of course, that ignores the fact that this was a situation that they created by unlawfully deporting him, by mistakenly deporting him.
Yeah, to the earlier point about how the administration, the president and his allies, they like this discussion. They like this being in the news politically. The other case of the activist from Colombia, Mahmoud Khalil, we have the story here of his wife giving birth after ICE had denied a plea for a temporary release. Comments on this case as you see it?
From an operational perspective, there's things we don't know about this case, to be fair. I don't know what evidence ICE is proffering in immigration court. We've seen discussions of it. It does not appear that they're alleging he had any direct ties to Hamas. Everything goes out the window if he's serving as a propaganda agent for a terrorist organization. But we're not seeing evidence of that. And under these circumstances, from just a strict question of does he pose a threat to public safety or is he a flight risk, that requires detention is the only possible way to, ensure his appearance in immigration court, I think the answer is no. And you would think that politically, maybe you would just let him go be present for the birth of his baby. Yeah. And ICE's own data shows that ankle bracelets and the electronic monitoring ICE has is effective in the high 90 percentile, 97, 98% of the time. But again, this is another case where it's about the politics and the optics, and I think the administration does believe that these hardline positions are ultimately beneficial to them.
Right.
Even though this is a case really that raises very difficult questions about whether or not, you can deport someone based solely on their political.
Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.